Lamar Jackson's probably the most dangerous player in the league because there are times you can do everything right on defense and can't catch him. Or, he can throw a ball sidearm underneath of a free rusher and complete a pass. I think that you got to have a resilient attitude when you play him, and you know that a playmaker like him is going to make some plays. You just have to limit his big plays, and you have to stay resilient.
Jim Schwartz, Eagles defensive coordinator, getting ready for the 2019 MVP to show up in Philadelphia. The Eagles 1-3-1. Let's start our week 6 preview. What's more likely style right there. What is more likely? Lamar Jackson throws for 250 or more yards, or Carson Wentz, the Eagles quarterback, throws 0 interceptions. Chris, what's more likely?
I'm going easy there. Lamar Jackson throws for 250-plus yards. I mean, not that I think that's a definite, but Carson Wentz throwing 0 interceptions, I doubt that. I mean, the Eagles won't be able to run the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball every play like they always do. Nobody's going to be open except for Fulgham every now and then. And he's going to – Carson Wentz, he threw 2 interceptions last week. One was, the game was over. He had to make something happen. But, he made so many great throws and great plays in that game that that goes unnoticed. But I just think between that and, yes, they got to rely on him too much. That Ravens defense, he's going to throw an interception. Lamar might have a big day, too, because the Eagles play a lot of man-to-man. They'll leave their guys in some vulnerable positions to where he might be able to hit a few big shots and take advantage of that.
Lamar Jackson hasn't had more than 204 passing yards since week 1 when he unleashed this new-look passing approach against the Browns. It just hasn't been back at that level since then. The Tennessee Titans are hosting the Houston Texans this weekend. Texans 1-4, Titans 4-0, one of the last 3 unbeaten teams. What's more likely? The Titans are helped by this COVID-19. Everyone is pointing out that we had an outbreak, chip on their shoulder, or are the Titans hurt by the short rest, the Tuesday to Sunday turnaround?
I think with this one, I would go the short rest might creep back in here on them a little bit. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder, yes, but it's been a whirlwind for them. I think if you're going to make me choose, between the two.
What is it going to be?
A whirlwind? Whirlwind?
Whirlwind?
Yeah,
it's a whirlwind.
Yes.
Simsisms.
Yes, it is.
Simsisms.
It is a whirlwind. It's going all around the world, and it's windy. But, yes, I guess I feel that way. They're not going to lose that chip. I don't think they're going to lose it. But I also think they're seeing a Texans team with a little bit of a fresh vibe and things like that. Hey, Romeo Crennel, we feel good. And I guess it's hard. I'm shocked at how well they played the other night. I really am.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
I think the Titans are they. As long as Mike Vrabel keeps them from realizing that no one's really all that upset with them at this point, they can preserve that kind of goofy us against the world, because God forbid they had an outbreak vibe. It's on the surface it's dumb, but if it works, it's not dumb.
Go ahead, right?
And I think that they're just in this bubble, they're in this mindset, they're in this mode, and I don't think it goes away from Tuesday to Sunday. And I think the bigger risk is they overlook the Texans because who's coming next week? It's the Pittsburgh Steelers, the only other unbeaten for now team in the AFC.
That's where I look at it as maybe being like a little tired just from the emotions of Tuesday night, knowing what you got on the horizon. The Texans, hey, we're better than them. We should win this game. It is a little worrisome there. I do think the Titans will still win the football game. I would expect them to. But I wouldn't be shocked if this Sean Watson and company kind of kept this closer than it should be.
Yeah, and you know what? On the surface, is it fair to have the Titans have to turn it around after only 5 days? The Bills got an extra day to get ready for the Chiefs.
They deserve it. They deserve the extra day. They've been put in this position by the Titans. So the Titans, sorry, you're the ones that did this. You get the short stay.
And There's the clip that Mike Vrabel can play. There's
Play
still
it to your
somebody blaming
team.
the Titans.
It's your
Still
fault,
blaming
Titans.
the Titans.
It's your fault.
There's no one to blame, so please blame us so we can use that as motivation to go out and beat whoever the next opponent may be. It also helps that the Texans, frankly, aren't that good. They got to win against the Jaguars. The Jaguars have set a record for losing 4 straight games to previously winless teams. Atlanta, speaking of winless teams, heading to Minnesota. The Vikings are 1-4, Falcons 0-5. What's more likely? The Falcons get the artificial interim head coach bounce, or the Vikings carry over momentum that came from that near-miss win on the road in Seattle?
I'm going to go with the Vikings here and the bump of the near-miss win and everything like that. You know, the Vikings have shown at least some glimmer of hope the last few weeks. I mean, yeah, they lose a heartbreaker to Seattle. The week before that, they played damn good against the Tennessee Titans and had them on the ropes, I mean, as you know. So we've seen like an upward trend with the Vikings, even though it's only translated to 1 win out of the last 3 games. Atlanta, I'm not doing anything with that football team until I see something. I just don't see it. And then that defense, you know, versus the Minnesota run game, that's worrisome. You know, Kirk Cousins and Jefferson and Thielen, they're kind of becoming dangerous there. You know, I like Raheem Morris. He's going to bring some new energy to the football team, but there's only so much that new energy can overcome.
And in between the close loss to the Titans and the close loss to the Seahawks, the Vikings did get Bill O'Brien fired.
Yeah, that's right.
By beating the Texans. So they were the last team to face the permanent coach of the Texans. They're the first team to face the interim coach of the Falcons. And I just think that this Falcons team is impervious to an artificial interim head coach bounce. I think that they all know the winds of change are blowing hard.
Yes.
And based upon the way Arthur Blank and Rich McKay addressed the situation in the media on Monday, no one is safe. No one's getting out until the new coaching staff decides to get rid of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if some guys were jostling behind the scenes to maybe get traded now, even though Rich McKay has said they want to preserve the roster as much as possible so the new GM and the new head coach can decide what to do with it. So I agree with you there. And we'll be doing our Mega Picks podcast later today. But I'm already leaning a best bet for the Vikings because they're only given 3.5 points to the Falcons. And here's the thing. The Vikings are going into their bye week, and they go to Green Bay after that. If they lose this one, they are done.
Yeah.
Done. 1-5 going into the bye week with the Packers and Green Bay on the other end. Done.
Are you going to wear your jersey today on the Mega Picks podcast?
Which jersey? Vikings jersey?
No, the one you got on right now, you nitwit.
It's a kit. It's a kit. Liverpool kit.
Oh, they call it
the terminology.
They call it a kit?
I don't know.
When you said a kit, I was like, wait, did they send you a kit of Liverpool stuff?
I built the shirt.
Well,
I built the shirt.
No, I thought they meant
Legos.
like, you know, you had a kit in there and it had
Legos,
a hat and a jersey and some cool socks, like it was a kit of stuff. So they call the jersey the kit. Sorry, I did not know that. You sound like you're from Liverpool.
Here's the thing. I probably will wear this for the Mega Picks podcast because we only have an hour in between, and it usually is a whirlwind for me in that hour.
It's
so
a windy world. You're right. Yes.
All right. The Washington football team, you know what? There's a lot of bad games this weekend. We've been spoiled by some good games.
Woo.
Holy crap.
Right.
This is one where this is what Pete says we're saving the good games for later. I don't care. Where are the good games? There's still some bad games this weekend. Washington 1-4 at Giants 0-5. What's more likely? Washington trails at halftime or the Giants trail at halftime? Here's why. The Giants have trailed at halftime every game this season, and this note from J.P. Finley of NBC Sports Washington. The Washington football team has trailed at halftime by at least 10 points in 7 straight games going back to last season. It ties an NFL record with the Brooklyn Dodgers from 1942 to 43 and the 1939. Who can forget the 1939 Chicago Cardinals?
Nobody.
7 straight games, trailing at halftime by 10 or more points. The amazing thing is they've actually won at least one of them.
I know, it's amazing.
So somebody's going to be, well, unless it's a tie, somebody's going to be trailing at halftime. What's more likely, Washington or the Giants trailing at the half?
So do we know the quarterback situation quite yet? I mean, I know they said Kyle Allen would
Yes.
So is he's good? He's good to go?
Here's the situation, and this is interesting.
Yeah.
Kyle Allen fully participated in practice yesterday with the left shoulder injury. Dwayne Haskins, who wasn't with the team on Sunday due to an illness, non-COVID illness, didn't practice yesterday due to an illness. And it just makes me wonder, has he just disengaged? And if I was 23 and I went from being future franchise quarterback to cast into a corner and you're not even going to be in uniform for the game, I can't say I wouldn't have had a 4-day illness that may have been embellished a little bit, because you're showing me no respect whatsoever. You make me the 15th overall pick in the draft, and this is what you do to me less than 2 years later. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So awkward dynamic, to say the least, but it looks like it's going to be Kyle Allen.
Yeah, okay. Well, he is. Dwayne Haskins is in a tough spot. There's no doubt about that. I think if I'm going to go with the Giants trail at halftime, I am. I think Kyle Allen showed me enough last week to go, okay, yeah, it's not a superstar, but he can move the ball down the field. We saw him make some throws and a few runs, ran in for that touchdown, showed a little more speed than, most people think he has. The Giants offense, they got the benefit of playing the Cowboys last week, but I mean, other than that, it has shown no signs of life, and Washington's defense is pretty damn good. So I'm going to go with the Giants trailing at halftime. I am.
The last time these teams played, Week 16, 2019, the Giants actually led by 14 at the half. Washington tied it up. The Giants won in overtime. They won the battle and lost the war because that game allowed Washington to get in position to draft Chase Young.
Yeah.
So
right.
There's no tanking in football, my butt. There should be, because who cares about what happened in Week 16 between a couple of bad teams? You got Chase Young on Washington's roster for the next 5 years at least, maybe a lot longer. That means a hell of a lot more than a meaningless game from December of 2019.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.